Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Scott. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And like always, is to use any outside noise, animals, whatever with this area. But this is for the 1992 film Innocent Blood. Now, this is a film that I thought at the end of the day was a middle-of-the-road type of movie. I can't really say I was big on it. Because here's the thing. John Landis is a director that I think is... He's okay. He's done films I liked. Oscar was Stallone. I enjoy that film. And American Wolf in London. Blues Brothers. I mean... Animal House. There are films of his that I do enjoy. But as a person, what happened to Twilight Zone, the movie incident, he still got 3 people killed because of his stupidity. He really didn't get punished for it. And it's not like he got blacklisted, no matter what he says. He still got quite a few films afterward to direct. Three Amigos, Coming to America, which was a huge hit. I like that movie. Oscar with Sylvester Stallone. Sally didn't do well. Then he did this film. And this seemed like the real start of his downward career. Because after this, he did Beverly Hills Cop 3. He did Susan's Plan. He did Blues Brothers 2000. He did The Stupids. Like, these are the films that followed for John Landis. And this film was, I thought, like I said, middle of the road. Definitely not as good as American Werewolf in London. It's like him trying to do that, but with vampires. The acting is not really the problem. The lead is a beautiful lady. She was the star of the original La Femme Nikita. She stars as a vampire who kills bad guys and mobsters, which I like that idea. And other people in the cast, you have Anthony LaPaglia. I've seen him in other stuff. I remember him being Mike Myers' brother, and So I Married an Axe Murderer. Actually, I can't remember if it was brother or his buddy. So I guess I can't remember that well, but I do remember he was in that movie. And that's actually a movie I don't mind. And he plays an undercover cop trying to get into the realm of the mob in order to bring down this crime boss played by Robert Loggia. May he rest in peace. Robert Loggia, he's a guy, I remember he was in Sylvester Stallone's film Over the Top. He was in Scarface. He played the general in Independence Day, sharing scenes with Bill Pullman. Good actor. He is one of the highlights of the film, because he's having a ball. Because it's not often he gets to play this mobster that gets bit and then he becomes a vampire and he's just loving every minute of it. Like I said, he's definitely the highlight of the film. Chaz Palminteri's in the film, only for a short bit though. He was in Oscar that John Landis directed the year before. Angela Bassett is in the film for a little bit, which is funny because I think soon after she was in Vampire in Brooklyn, another vampire film. Luis Guzman, he's in the film as one of the cops. Don Rickles, yes, the Don Rickles is there as Robert Loggia's attorney. And like other John Landis films, there are some cameos. Tom Savini makes a cameo as a photographer. Sam Raimi makes a cameo as a guy who runs a meat locker where Robert Loggia stays for a bit. Frank Oz, the voice of Yoda, director of the remake of Little Shop of Horrors, has a cameo as a morgue. I was going to say attendant, but it's more than attendant. He runs the morgue. I think it's one of those films that the elements are there. The plot could be interesting. A female vampire that only kills mobsters. She tries to kill Robert Loggia, fucks up, he gets away. She's trying to finish the job. He's now a mobster vampire biting his own men to create his own mobster vampire society, run the mob the vamp way. And then it's like a buddy movie where her and Anthony LaPaglia, undercover cop, teaming, falling in love, of course. And once in a while you get a pretty interesting special effect, like when a character gets burned up in a hospital, which I think effects-wise is easily the highlight. And while the elements are there, just something about it doesn't click the best. I did not laugh a lot of times. The few times I smirked was because of Robert Loggia's performance. In American Werewolf in London, that's definitely more of an effects-heavy movie than this. This maybe had a smaller budget, and that hurt it. The pacing, it's almost 2 hours long. I don't think it needed to be that long. And the ending was kind of a letdown, because, oh, they're going to go fight all these vampires, and it's really not much to it. I mean, fuck. As much as I don't like the film, Bordello Blood had a more exciting vampire fighting finale with water guns than this film has. And the concept seems a bit more cute vampire mobsters than the execution. And I think the pacing being so sluggish. What the sluggish? What the fuck is sluggish? Sluggish. My mouth is getting sluggish just talking about the movie. I mean, get more into spoilers. You set up, I forget the actress's name. She was in the original La Femme Nikita. You set up her character. You set up, again, the other characters. Anthony LaPaglia is undercover. Chaz Palminteri is his buddy in the mob. John Landis gets his nods into older films. Like, literally, Chaz Palminteri has the men stop to look at a TV to watch, like, a Ray Harryhausen type of... I'm not exactly sure if it's Ray Harryhausen. It might be a different... I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's that type of stop-motion dinosaur movie. And literally they stop to watch it. Like, the movie literally stops to go, hey, you see this reference? Even Into the Night did that a little bit more clever, where it's playing in the midst of a scene where the character's going into this place with all these dead bodies. So you have this goofy, fun comedy on TV amidst this grisly murder scene. Kind of a weird but interesting juxtaposition. No, literally the movie stops for us to look at this for like a minute. Maybe not that long, but at least 30 seconds. They do the same thing with Dracula, the Christopher Lee, where the characters that go to Anthony LaPaglia are watching it. So Robert Loggia is his crime boss. This guy is fucked with him, so he messes with him in this toaster oven, beats him in the head with this toaster oven, shoots him, and I don't know if I would say the tone is off from time to time, because at times like that kind of a, I don't want to say sadistic, but fairly serious scene, but I guess it's supposed to be funny because it's the fact of a toaster oven. I thought, just something about, I thought the balance of horror and humor was done better in American Werewolf in London than this. The balance, I don't think, was quite there. So after all that, our vampire lady is on the prowl. She sees Anthony LaPaglia. I'll just call him Anthony. She sees Anthony, realizes he has sad eyes, so I'm not going to choose him, but does choose Chaz Palminteri. And when the vampires, not only her, but later on the other vampires, when their eyes open up, I thought they looked kind of cheap. Because she opens up and her eyes are bloodshot red, but it's like the Thriller music video or something. Or maybe not even that. Maybe that looked better. That looked better than this. Sorry about that. My body literally revolted against... Because the eyes look cheap. They look chintzy. They looked... I'm like, really? That's what you're going with? Stuff I would see in a Halloween episode of Home Improvement? Like these chintzy looking eyes. The one that looked interesting was when Don Rickles had it. He's in the hospital. He wakes up. Cause his eyes looked better because it wasn't just one color. It was like a swirling of colors. It was like purple, but then other stuff, and they seem more detailed when his eyes open. They seem like there's a lot of detail put into the way they look, and that made it look a bit more, like to take notice. But when it's just boom red or boom green, I don't know, it just looked. People could disagree. It looked chintzy to me. It looked like cheap. It looked goofy. It just looked goofy to me. That's just me though. So she bites Chaz Palminteri, shoots him off screen so that he doesn't come back. Apparently, vampires can die with just a headshot. And that's the thing, it's a vampire film, but they don't really play a lot of the rules of vampires. Like, they can still see themselves reflection in the mirror. There's no wooden stakes. There's no silver bullets. It's just, you shoot them in the head, that's fine. So I guess it's like it's zombie rules. As long as you shoot them in the head, that's fine. So okay, it's a vampire film that plays all the rules of a zombie film. You get bit, you get infected, shoot them in the head, they're dead. Okay. Angela Bassett, she plays the police captain who's pissed that Ethel Piglet gets into this crime scene. I understand why she's pissed, because she even says, you're undercover, you came in here, now all the press is here, now your cover is blown. And I agree with her yelling at him for being an idiot, because it was a stupid thing to do. So now he's needs to be protected. Meanwhile, Robert Loggia's been bitten by the girl, but she can't finish him off. Other things happen. She escapes. Robert Loggia's taken to the morgue where Frank Oz is there ready to cut him up. Robert Loggia wakes up, and the fact that the morgue is set up like a maze, so he's terrified about all the bodies. Like I said, Robert Loggia, he's having fun with the role, and he's trying. I like him as an actor, may he rest in peace. He's trying with the role. Brett, I still don't understand why she didn't finish off Robert Loggia, because this one guy with a gun. I'm thinking, you're a vampire. Why are you scared of one guy with a gun? Why don't you grab the guy, slash him up, and take his gun and use it? It's not 50 or 5, it's one guy with a gun. Why are you scared of him? He's not John Wick. It's just some guy with a gun. Just grab him, kill him, bite him, and then shoot both of them in the fucking... You're a vampire. You've been doing this supposedly for a long fucking time. I'm sure there's been many times where you've had to deal with two guys at one time. And you have the element of surprise. He comes in, bite his neck, take his gun, but we watch the movie, I guess. So there you go. One thing leads to another. Anthony, the cop, finds the vampire chick who threatens him. Stay away from me. Anthony and the girl finally get together. They team up. They get to Robert Loggia's place, where Robert Loggia has gone back. Not even his place. He goes to Don Rickles' attorney's place. And Robert Loggia's ready to kill him, and Don Rickles is like, no, don't murder a cop in my front lawn. And see, this is the section where I'm going, this is a comedy. Where are the laughs? I guess the whole idea is supposed to be funny enough to get us laughing hysterically. But there's not really a lot of comedic meat to the bones in this film. At least in my opinion. And also when Robert Loggia grabs the guy, the cop, I'm like, where's the vampire chick? Shouldn't she be watching all this? Shouldn't she have a gun with her? And I mean, when she was with Chaz Palminteri, she brought a fucking shotgun with her. Yeah, that she pulled out. What about all this? I'm sure she would have other guns follow him and help him. No, she just stands there or sits there in the fucking tree or wherever, literally watches the cop get put into a fucking trunk, and then follows them. Robert Loggia bites down Rickles, goes off to kill the cop in this garbage disposal. Finally, the girl arrives, trying to drive a car into him. Shoot at Robert Loggia. Loggia gets away. That's where Robert Loggia goes to the meat locker where Sam Raimi works at, sleeps there. Don Rickles in the hospital, and the one solid special effects moment. He opens up, the nurse opens up the curtains, burns him up, and it looked cool. Like, again, his eyes looked cool when he opened up, because, again, this variation of colors, is that just one finite color, so it made it look less cheap, less chintzy, and when he's burning up, he's falling apart, his face is burning up, it's corroding, as he's being turned, done a lot in camera, for real. Easily the best effect of the movie. Really cool moment. You could probably find it on YouTube. Looked really cool. Don Rickles' death scene. It looked really cool. And again, I'm guessing they had a lower budget because look at American Werewolf in London, just with his dead friend coming back more and more decomposed, and the big transformation scene, and the monster in the finale. Like, they seem like they had a lot more budget, I would assume, to play around with effects, unlike here. Of course, Anthony and the girl fall in love. They have a sex scene. Robert Loggia is turning his men. The two leads are kind of going from A to B to C. They can't find the guy. They finally get to this club. They finally find where Robert Loggia's at. They save Luis Guzman, the cop who's tied up. And just the finale kind of seemed like weak sauce. Like, okay, we don't go in, we don't battle these vampires. And it's just the female vamp and two bad vamps. And there's Luis Guzman tied to a chair. And they're kind of playing Ring Around the fucking Rosie until, like, she cracks their necks. And then when she gets up to the roof, there's three vampires, including Robert Loggia. She just shoots two in the head. Pop, pop. That easily. And then Anthony, after shooting a cop that's been turned, gets up to the roof. Robert Loggia jumps down, gets hit by like a car bus collision. Anthony comes down. He lights Robert Loggia up. And this is actually the second best effect, stunt-wise. The wide shots where Robert Loggia's character is on fire. Now, obviously the close-ups, there's some effects detailed in that. But in the wide shots, it's a real person on fire, moving his hands like he's talking, having a conversation. Imagine that. You're on fire, head to toe, and you have to sit there calmly and have a conversation. That's pretty fucking dangerous, and I give credit to the stunt person. I wish he was in a better movie. But it's like, wow, that looked really neat. And then Robert Loggia shoots him in the head. Anthony and the girl go off to live happily ever after, and the movie ends. So this for me, it's not a movie that I hated. I liked Anthony LaPaglia. The vampire lady, beautiful to look at. Robert Loggia's having fun. It was entertaining to see, oh, there's Tom Savini, there's Sam Raimi, those cameos. Don Rickles, his burn death scene, very well done. Like I said, the best effect in the movie. The fire stunt at the end, kudos to the stunt person for doing that. But it just sluggish pacing. It just wasn't really that exciting of a finale. You see a lot more creativity, a lot more oomph, a lot more adrenaline, a lot more effects. Something could have been done with any of that. It's not. You know, you compare it to the ending of American Werewolf in London, and then this is just very weak sauce. And I don't know if I would really found a lot of chemistry between the lady and Anthony LaPaglia. They did fine acting wise, but I'm not sure if I found a lot of chemistry between the two. And the dialogue exchanges really, I didn't find really that witty or funny. Like, the movie seemed like it came to life when it was Robert Loggia being this vampire mobster. It's like more of the movie, seems like more of the movie should have been about him. Because he's the one that really brings to life the film. Brings the full life to the film. So I don't know, just the very middle of the road movie for me. You know, the music, trying very much for that Frank Sinatra type of music as his mobster life, I guess. Take that for what you will. If you like it, you like it. I mean, other than that, like I said, I wasn't really big on the movie. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm kind of just meh. Very meh on the whole thing. And he'll do worse. Beverly Hills Cop 3, Blues Brothers 2000, The Stupids. But if you love the film, that's cool. I just really wasn't that hilarious, wasn't that funny, wasn't as effects driven as the previous monster movie he did. And I can see why no one really talks much about the film. And just of the vampires, like the original Fright Night, From Dusk Till Dawn, like Blade 2, like there's various other vampire films of different genres you could look to that I think did this better. Like if you want to see comedy with vampire, the original Fright Night did that a lot better than this. Fright Night Part 2 did that better than this. You want to see a more effects-driven excitement, From Dusk Till Dawn did that better than this. So like I said, take that for what you will. But thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.